What's going on, everybody? Welcome into Match Night here with Somos Mas and M. My name, of course, is Seth. If you're familiar with the show, you know who we are and what we do here. We typically sit down on Tuesday nights, record our podcast. We talk some New Mexico United. We talk some other stuff. But tonight is the very first time that we're going to try this. I can't guarantee you that Jacob and Earl are going to be here. They may or may not hop in and out throughout the match. I think Jacob's at least going to pop in a little bit. But this is officially our pre-show to the New Mexico United and San Antonio match taking place tonight from Toyota Field down in San Antonio. We're approximately 29 minutes away from kickoff. New Mexico United is still in the hunt for the playoffs. They are currently 4 points out of the playoff race. If my stand is, double check the standings here real quick. I'll pull that up just to make sure I have that for you. Some matches of note that are getting underway right now. Colorado Springs, Switchbacks, and Austin Bold FC are kicking off any minute now, probably within the next 2 to 3 minutes. That match, of course, will have implications for New Mexico United. And as we get into this tonight, New Mexico United and San Antonio FC, both clubs have had a bit of an up and down season. If you listen to the show this week, we had friend of the show, Harry Austin. You may know him from social media as Ramen Call. He joined us this week, talked some San Antonio, kind of talking about where they were earlier in the season, where they are now. We talked New Mexico United, how things haven't quite gone our way, especially on the road this year with a 2-7-3 record there. And the next 9 weeks, well, not even 9 weeks, the next 9 matches over the next 4.5 weeks, give or take, are going to be crucial for New Mexico United if they want to make the playoffs this year. This is going to be a hugely important stretch, and we're going to talk about some things here as we get into it. So thank you guys so much for being here. We typically just go on YouTube, but due to this new platform we are using, StreamYard, we are currently live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter all at the same time. So wherever you're following us, you can get live content. We're gonna have a watch along going on tonight. We got United up here on the screen here in just a little while. We're gonna have probably some Colorado Springs over on this side. We got some stats. We got some notes going. And over on this screen over here, we're gonna have some live tweets going on from the ESPN Radio 117 the team account. Lots of things going on. Thank you guys so much for being here. If you are enjoying the content, be sure that you subscribe to the channel, follow the Facebook page, Twitter, whatever it is on whatever platform you're watching us on, and make sure you get your notifications set up so that when we do go live or when we do put new content out there. I'm excited for this. I'm excited to see how this is gonna go. So let's talk, guys. Let's talk. We talked about on the show this week, New Mexico United is still hunting for the playoffs. We know we had a stretch where we had 5 draws in a row and ended that with a loss to Phoenix Rising. And we've won 2 of the last 3, which is a bit of an upswing from where we were a month ago. And in that time, we beat Colorado Springs, which is a club that we beat 3 times this season. And so we kind of figured out the Haji Berry problem, the Michi Galena problem. We saw that win there. We saw the 2-1 win over Monarchs, or 2-1 win over the Monarchs last time at home. We did have some folks say it wasn't necessarily a pretty win, but pretty win or not, the club went out. They played well. They got the results. The stats were definitely in their favor. And so I think that was a well-deserved win for United there, even though it was Monarchs, who are bottom of the league, fighting for the USL wooden spoon. But it was one of those performances where you saw a lot of good things from the club. We saw a lot of creativity. We saw a lot of the guys going forward. We saw a very good defensive effort. And arguably, it was one of the more complete matches. We didn't allow Monarchs to come back at the end. We didn't allow them to really pressure that goal there towards the end of the match, and we played pretty well. So happy with that. And I've got a DM from Harry over on Twitter. Boo Guzman, not even in the 18. No, and that's something that we're going to talk about here real quick. we've talked about it off and on all season long. Well, more on than off, but Juan Pablo Guzman has not been a bright spot for New Mexico United this year. Kind of on the downswing. He is, I think he's 32 now, getting a little bit older. And so his on-field ability is not necessarily where we all would have liked it to be this year. We've seen moments. We know he has the technical ability, but the decision-making has not been great this year. So Juan Pablo Guzman not in the 18 today. We're going to take a look at that lineup here. I've got it make sure I've got that pulled up, and we'll talk about this. I know this is something that we've all been talking about. We've all been, looking forward to what was going to happen with the team sheet this week. And so yeah, let's break it down, guys. Looking like a 3-4-3 coming out from what the club has put out over on social media. Alex Tambakis, obviously between the sticks. Yearwood, Ryden, and Tete at the back. Daniel Bruce, Michael Azira, Sergio Rivas, and David Najem rounding out the midfield. And then up top, you've got Chris Wehan, Amando Moreno, and Andrew Tenari. So with the players that are out there, and if you're watching us live, you can comment on whatever platform you're on. Whether it's Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, you throw some comments up on the video. We'll share those in the chat. We'd love to have some comments and back and forth with you guys as the show goes along. So be sure to join in on that. Looking at this 11 from my perspective, we typically throw out what looks like a 3-4-3 or something along those lines. 3-4-2-1 is typically how it looks on the graphic that the club puts out there. With the personnel we have on the field, I kind of feel like this is going to play more of a 4-4-2 or more of a 4-3-2-1, with Moreno being the lone striker up top, which I think is absolutely interesting. We haven't really seen that too much this season. Devin Sandoval, of course, is going to be coming off the bench tonight. Josh Suggs once again on the bench. Chelo Martinez, Ilya Illich, Justin Schmidt, Salih on the bench this week, and of course Philip Weigel rounding that out. I think this is a tremendous opportunity for Amando Moreno. We've seen Moreno and Chris Wehan really start to gel and get a rhythm going between the two of them, and I feel like having Moreno up top as a lone striker gives us a little bit more of an attacking presence. And I'll explain that here in just a second. And when you've got guys like Tenari, who's been showing that he can get the ball forward. You've got Chris Wehan, who we know his creativity, we know what he brings to the pitch, and you've got Sergio Rivas, who, according to the graphic that the club put out, is going to be playing a more of a midfield, most likely a defensive mid role. And we know that Sergio brings a verticality that we don't typically see in that position. And so between Sergio, Andrew Tenari, and Bees, we've got a lot of guys that can fill that midfield and get the ball forward. There's a lot of connectivity there, which is something that we didn't see against Austin a couple weeks ago. And we talked about it on the show Tuesday night. And so I like this with Moreno up top. I think it's very interesting. Now, normally we see Devin up top, and, Dev has things where he does excel. Dev is a big body. Dev can get in there and bang, especially with the size and the physicality that the San Antonio defenders are going to put out there tonight, something that we're going to see all night long. I haven't looked at their lineup yet, but we'll go take a look at that here in just a minute. And, so Dev does that well. Dev's able to get in there and bang and hang with those guys. He plays hold up really well. And so without Dev in the 11, without him up there up top, I think what we're going to see a more fluid forward moving play. And then you've got you got Brucey looks like on the left, and Najem on the right. You've got two guys that can fire the ball in from the wings, from that wing back position, and get it into the box. So, you've got guys who are going to be in and out with opportunities to put the ball on frame. And if they can do that, if they can make space and get those shots off and put shots on frame, I think they can make Cardone miss and make a few mistakes. Our buddy Harry might disagree with me a little bit, but we'll have to wait and see what happens there. So I'm excited to see what happens. I think that's fantastic. And so let me know what your thoughts are. If you're in the chat here, throw up your comments, and we'll see if we can't get any questions, comments, whatever. We'll talk about them. We'll get those read out, and can't wait to see what happens tonight. We got approximately 20 minutes to kick off. and we've got it's exciting to see. Like this is a lineup that I wouldn't have expected, especially at this point in the season. So I think it's going to be interesting. Again, it's going to be interesting to see how it actually lines up on the pitch and see what happens with that. And can this smaller lineup play with the bodies that San Antonio is going to put out? All right, let's go take a look at Twitter and see if the San Antonio team sheet is out. Looks like Colorado Springs and Austin Bold are underway. Harry had a tweet here. Here it goes. Oh, there we go. Looks like Harry got a chance to talk to Peter Trevisani tonight. So happy to see that. We'll throw that over there. San Antonio FC. Let's see if they put it out. All right. So the San Antonio FC lineup, Matt Cardoni and goal, of course. The Plains, Schoberg, Tainter. Yeah, some big guys there at the back. Maloney, Lindley, Abu PC, of course, is in there playing. Epps, Jose Gallegos, and Nathan. So yeah, that's a tough lineup. That is a tough lineup, and it's going to be interesting to see again how New Mexico United play against that lineup. This is, of course, the third time that the two clubs have met this season, and the last time out, Jose Gallegos just absolutely dominated the play on the pitch. He was involved in all 3 goals. He had a goal and 2 assists in that match, and Jose Gallegos did some things on the ball that we just couldn't handle. And so, controlling him is going to be important. And I think that with the midfield we have here, I think we're going to have, you're going to see some guys getting in there, particularly Sergio and, probably Micah 0-2 who can drop back and deal with his pace and stay on the ball. And I think that's going to benefit United. Going down to Toyota Field, of course, is always difficult. New Mexico United has only won there once, and that was in the postseason last year, where the alleged handball by Chris Wehan resulted in the only goal of that match. And, of course, whenever they come here, we have beaten San Antonio each time they've come. So Toyota Field, a veritable fortress. San Antonio has played pretty well down there. Let me pull up their season and see how things are going for them at home. I tried to have everything up and ready to go before I went live, and so unfortunately, as you think of things, you want to bring them up, you want to talk about them. And thank you guys for tuning in. Appreciate the likes and the views so far. If you are joining us, be sure, if you have questions, comments, throw them up in the chat. We'll talk about it. We'd love to get some back and forth going with everybody. Jacob will be joining us throughout the night at different points, I believe. I don't know if Earl's going to be joining us or not, but whether you're a New Mexico United supporter or not, hop in the chat. We'd love to talk to you. We'll talk USL. We'll talk, whatever you want. We'll talk this match. We'll talk, like I said, I've got the Colorado Springs match over here. We've got a lot going on, a lot affecting that could potentially affect the outcome or the standings, I should say, within the Mountain Division tonight. Of course, the table here does update live over on USLchampionship.com. And with the Austin Bold match currently underway, there is a 6-point gap currently between New Mexico United and 4th place Austin Bold. So depending on how things shake out tonight, United could be anywhere from, let's see, if Austin loses, United will be within 2 points of within 2 points of 4th place. If current result holds at 0-0 or and a draw, I should say, then United would sit 3 points back of 4th place. And if Austin Bold were to win, United would sit 5 points out still. So, Austin Bowl, we're gonna be doing some. Definitely gonna be doing some match watching, some table watching here for the next few weeks as these matches get underway and the season comes to a close. We are inching ever closer to kickoff time. Just we're right at 15 minutes. Well, 15 minutes until the broadcast starts, and then kickoff time is typically at 6 after. Which I was trying to get an explanation for the other night. I was talking to David Carl at the club, and he said that's a decision from the league. And so the league sets the time for all the matches, and they, for whatever reason, all the matches kick off like 6 minutes after time. So who knows? Who knows what the reason for that is? I think if they want to do a proper pregame show, have the broadcast go live at like 6:15 and then kick off at 6:30. But who knows? I don't know what the reasoning for all that is. Maybe it's similar back to the TBS days back in the 90s, where everything on TBS started at 5 after. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe not. I don't know. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Earl Guzman not starting makes me think the club at least tunes in. I don't know. That was something that came up on the show this week with Harry. He said that we would be surprised, or some folks would be surprised at how much attention the clubs pay to local media or smaller content creators like we are. And like he is, and so apparently some folks do kind of listen. So who knows? We do tend to armchair quarterback just a little bit. I think most sports fans do, and there's certainly nothing wrong with that. But it's interesting to think that we might have an ear, or someone at the club might have an ear for our show and kind of listens in. Now, whether or not it actually has an impact on what Troy does, I highly doubt it actually does. But if anyone from the club is listening, would love to get a shout out and have you on the show at some point. And we got some guys, we're working on some stuff. I haven't even told Jacob and Earl about this yet, but I'm working on something. And we might have some special content coming up for you guys here in the next week and a half or so, which is exciting. Looking forward to that, but don't want to give away too much. But I am working on something, and I think it's gonna be great. I think it's gonna be great once it comes out, and can't wait to see what happens with that. I'm hoping Jacob and Earl hop on here, and it's not me for the entire 2 hours or so. Now, granted, we can do it. We can absolutely make it work, and we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens here, and hopefully we get some folks here in the chat and cheering along with us. Well, also got the Reddit. If you're a member of the New Mexico United subreddit, you can go check that out. I am one of the moderators over there as well. So go check it out. We over on the New Mexico United subreddit, there's a great group of moderators. Every match we have a prediction thread. We have a little internal competition within the subreddit, within the supporters. We are sitting on 800 and something followers of the subreddit right now. So go check that out. Definitely a lot more chill than the Facebook group. Lots of good conversations, some great soccer content over there. Check it out. Would love to have you guys join us over there. Again, if you are just now joining, my name, of course, is Seth. If this is your first time with us, I am part of Somos Mas NM. We do a podcast that covers New Mexico United, and we do talk about other stories from the world of sports when we have time. New Mexico United is our primary focus, but we do talk other things as they come up. This past week we talked some WWE, like old school WWE, like our late 80s, early 90s, especially with having Harry on the show. We talked bad reality TV, among some other things. But again, New Mexico United, that's our thing. We love covering the club. We appreciate everything the club has done for us, all the access they've afforded us with the club. So we have the opportunities to get out and sit down with Peter and Troy and some of the players after every match. And, we like putting out content and covering the club. And, we do this because it's our passion. We love this club, and everything that we do comes out of our pockets. We make no money on this at all. And so, if you're interested in joining us as a content creator, we're looking for content creators, people who can either write or be a part of the podcast. We're looking for social media people who can help us stay on track with social media postings and things like that, social media awareness. We're looking for, what else are we looking for? Yeah, content creators, social media. We're looking for people to just come, if you want, just come hang out with us and chat with us on Tuesday nights when we record our show, 9 o'clock on YouTube. We do that live. And now with this new platform, we might extend that out to some other places as well. But let's see what's going on over in the world of the Mountain Division. It looks like Colorado Switchbacks have taken the lead 1-0. They scored in the 8th minute. Shane Beckford picked up a goal. And so that puts us right now with United being 5 points adrift of 4th place. So Colorado Springs holding up to their end of the bargain there. If that result does hold, New Mexico United has a chance to pick up some points on Austin Bold this evening, and with a win would fall in would sit 2 points back of the playoffs. So lot to get to. We are now 9 minutes away from the beginning of the broadcast. Hopefully you folks are just as excited as we are. As you can see, I am not out at Civic Plaza tonight. If not for the rain, I might have headed out there. But we thought that this might be a good way to interact with some folks and watch the match in a different way. And it's exciting for us that we're able to do something like this and create content and be out here talking New Mexico United with everyone. All right. Let's see. Have any other questions or comments so far? Not so far. That's all right. So if you are joining us, please be sure to get in the chat, whether it's Twitter, Facebook, or YouTube. You can chat with us live. We'll talk to you throughout the show, and would love to see what your thoughts are on the match before, during, and after. But yeah, that's where we are right now. Trying to think of what all of our predictions were from Tuesday night. I know Harry, of course, did say, I believe he said 3-1 San Antonio. I said either 2-2 or 2-1 to San Antonio. I think Jacob went 2-1 to us. He might have gone there. And Earl, I think he went 2-2. So Harry, of course, being the San Antonio supporter, it makes sense that he would have gone that way. And I think for us making our predictions, like, this zone is tough. We talked about it. Toyota Field has not been a good place for New Mexico United to go. They've lost every trip down there except for the playoffs last year. And San Antonio does a pretty good job of defending their field anyway. They are 5-2-4 at home so far this year. Arguably a bit better at home than they are on the road. But no matter how you look at it, San Antonio has turned their season around from where they were early on, and they will be looking to, I believe, jump up into potentially second place. Potentially second place with a win tonight. That's where San Antonio would sit. It's we're in for a match. If you're here with us, I'd love to hear your predictions and see what you think is going to happen tonight. Does United get the win on the road? Can they contain Jose Gallegos? And what happens, guys? 9 matches to go. Do you think New Mexico United makes it into the playoffs at this point? That's a concern that some folks have had, that we've had, given the run that we went on, and I think it's a very valid one. I'm not gonna, I can't sit here and say that I've been 100% happy with the way that things have played out. I can't sit here and say that it should be hashtag Troy out. I don't believe that that's the case at all. We have to look at this season and in terms of not only are clubs returning to the sense of normal. Last season, very few places had clubs in it, or sorry, very few places had fans in the stands. And so I think that last year we may have seen more opportunities for away clubs to pick up wins. And I think this season there's more, that atmosphere is kind of playing into it a little bit. Maybe there's a little bit of, oh, there aren't really any expectations for this season. And so I don't know. I don't really know what the reasoning is. Maybe we just haven't played enough attacking football on the road. Maybe we were just too defensive. I mean, look back at the Austin match. We absolutely came out too passive in that match. We didn't really attack until the second half. We didn't pressure. We didn't put any pressure on Austin Bold, and I think that cost us in the long run. I mean, we had opportunities in the second half, sure, but it wasn't. We weren't good enough in the first half. We didn't do what we needed to do in order to take care of business, and I think that negatively affected us in that match. We should have at the very least gone there and gotten a draw at the very least, but unfortunately it didn't work out that way. So I don't know. I mean, if you're a hashtag Troy out, we'd love to hear you in the chat. We'd love to hear your reasons why. We can talk about that throughout the match. If you are firmly behind Troy, get that in there as well. We'd love to talk that as well. We are just a matter of minutes away now from the start of the broadcast. So I'm going to take a short break. I'm going to grab some more water, and we will be back here momentarily. All right, folks, we are back. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We are moments away from the beginning of the broadcast over on ESPN Plus. We do have a score update from Colorado Springs. Austin Bold have come back and they have picked up an equalizer. Let's see here. Javier Baez picked up a goal in the 17th minute, and Brendan Burke, apparently. Nope. Philip Mayaka picked up a yellow card for Colorado Springs. So 1-1 up there now. That is going to be one heck of a match. And if we didn't have our own to pay attention to, that's definitely one I would be tuning into tonight. So let's take a look and let's see. Let's pull up our broadcast here. All right, folks, strap in. We've got some fantastic football coming up. All right, so let's see. Yeah, I reported earlier over on the Reddit thread that we hadn't got we typically get match notes from the club a day ahead. We usually have a little bit of information available to us that we can put out there and make our predictions and pre-match stuff based on. And as reported, Sam Hamilton and Harry Schwartz are the only two players listed on the injury report. As we know, Sam, of course, underwent surgery earlier this year due to a leg injury, and Harry Schwartz had surgery last week as he had been dealing with a re-aggravated sports hernia. That was something that Harry had been dealing with. Actually came back and played and felt like he could continue, but it was enough to where they decided to go ahead and get that procedure done. And due to the timing of it, he will miss the rest of the season. So unfortunate for Harry. He'd been playing pretty well so far this year. And it's going to be interesting to see here. Here we go. Some, let's see, stats on the screen. Okay, talking about San Antonio's recent road trip. I believe they had spent 4 matches on the road. Has been their recent form, and they've done pretty well. So let's see, yellow card over Colorado Springs and Austin Bold. Josue Soto picked up a yellow card in the 21st. So we'll see what happens there. We'll keep an eye on that throughout the night. There was a report that Brendan Burke had picked up one, but it doesn't look like that's the case over on USLChampionship.com. There you see on the screen Mitchell Tainter. Mitchell Tainter's a guy. He was with San Antonio before, went over to Sacramento and came back for the remainder of the season, I believe, on loan. He's a guy that plays really well at the back. So he's someone to keep an eye on tonight. And United have to figure out a way to break down that back line. And there is this table as we talked about it. I see there are no USL typos on that one this week out. I believe it was last week. They had Reno 1868 on there, which we all know they're not a club currently. So not entirely sure what happened there. San Antonio SC versus New Mexico United. So, yeah, we are just minutes away from kickoff. I believe that kickoff is going to happen at 6:36 p.m. Mountain Time. So I appreciate you folks being here, joining us. If you're joining us for the first time, welcome into the show. My name is Seth. Thank you guys for joining us. I do host the Somos Mas NM podcast along with my partners Jacob Terrell and Earl Nieto. We typically sit down on Tuesday nights at 9 o'clock Mountain Time and talk New Mexico United. We decided to take this weekend as an opportunity to do a watch along with you guys, with the club being out of town. We have a platform that we can do that on now. We are streaming to Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter all live at the same time right now. And we do have the opportunity, if you're following live, you can drop into the comments, send in your comments, and chat with us back and forth throughout the match. I know for a fact Facebook Live will pop up on here. Facebook will pop up. You can throw your comments in there. YouTube will as well. And we can share your comments on the screen. We'd love to get your thoughts on this match as events unfold. We got a lot that we're paying attention to. Looks like there was another yellow card over in the Colorado Springs and Austin Bold match. Jermaine Taylor picked up a yellow for Austin Bold. And I don't know. I know we're talking about soccer here, but did anyone see the Ryder Cup yesterday? Jordan Spieth had that absolutely insane shot. Probably the best shot I've ever seen taken anywhere on a golf course. Absolutely incredible thing that happened there. So, again, welcome in. Appreciate you being here. Make sure you subscribe, follow, like, whatever, all that fun stuff. Make sure your notifications on so that you know when we do go live. This is something we want to do more of. My name, of course, is Seth. We do the podcast on Tuesday nights. This is something new that we're trying. Get your comments in there over on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, I think. Let me see here. Yeah. Oh, never mind. Twitter comments won't pop up on here, but if you're with us on YouTube and Facebook, you can comment on the video down below. Get your questions, comments in there. We can pop them up on the screen. We'll talk about it. We'll talk, what's going on in the match. We'll talk some USL. So you guys help drive this thing. So here we go. We do see the lineup, and I don't know why they had Kalen Ryden out as a right center back. That's not typically where he plays. So hashtag USL typos there. This is going to be interesting here. Jose Gallegos up top. I'd be willing to bet that we see Nathan up top more than likely than Jose Gallegos. Both Nathan and Gallegos are going to be tough for these guys to deal with. Let's see what else. Okay, RGV is kicking off here in just a matter of minutes as well. Atlanta United 2 and RGV are playing. That is, of course, another match that is going to have an impact on the Mountain Division standings tonight. As things stand currently, Colorado Springs Switchbacks and Austin Bold are deadlocked in a 1-1 draw, and things are underway at Toyota Field. Let me fire off a tweet real quick. There we go. New Mexico United going forward here. David Najim crosses the ball in the box, looking for Chris Weekend. Oh, just over his head. Not a bad attempt there from David Najim. Just a bit too much on it for Chris Weehan to get to. Would have been a great opening opportunity there for the men in yellow. Good opening few seconds there. I mean, we're less than a minute into the match. So that would have been quite the opener if anything had happened there. We were talking to Harry the other night, and Nathan is a guy that he felt like was going to have a pretty good night. I actually was on SATX Soccer on Sunday night with Harry and Royce the Voice. Great show. Enjoyed hanging out with those guys on Sunday night. And I believe Royce was of the opinion that Nathan was going to get a hat trick on us this week. I don't see that happening, but here we see the ball being played out wide, and it looks like Michael Azira steps in to clear that away, but the ball does fall right back to San Antonio. As we can see here, looks like Brucey's playing really high up on that right wing currently. There's Andrew Tenari. So it looks like Tenari and Azira both kind of dropped in that midfield role here. And we see Bees making the switch out onto the right-hand side. David Najim playing the ball. Ooh, interesting pass there. Back to the back line to Kalen Ryden. Kalen Ryden out wide over to Austin Yearwood. United's trying to get a little bit of feel going here as Kalen Ryden gets closed down on the ball, goes out for a New Mexico United throw. Looks like Austin's going to be the one to take that. So San Antonio is a club that likes to press. They like to get up high and they like to try to disrupt, especially when you have guys like Nathan and Gallegos up there. They can disrupt those passing lanes and turn that into a goal rather quickly for San Antonio. You see the ball played long over the top and it's cleared by Rashid. And Moreno's not going to beat Schoberg to that ball. It goes all the way back to Matt Cardone. We see David Najim looking for Brucey out wide. Brucey looking in, looks for the cross. It does get deflected. Goes straight up in the air, though. And Brucey, Rosh gets it. What was that? Interesting ball played back by David Najim there. All the way back to Alex Tambakis, who comes just outside of his box to gather that ball as United looks to go forward again. And you can see the height advantage that Schoberg has over Armando Moreno. And this is one of the things I talked about in the pre-show, is that San Antonio has defenders that can play the ball. They have height, they have size. And that's one of the things that Dev really brought to the lineup, and not having him in there is something that United's going to have to find a way to deal with. That height disadvantage there, trying to get guys like Bees and Armando and Tinney into the box is going to be difficult, especially if you're trying to play those crosses. Like, you're either going to have to play those low driven crosses or shoot from like the top of the box, or just patiently try to work your way in and hope that you can find some space. But those San Antonio defenders are extremely good at what they do. So it's going to be an interesting night to see how that develops there, and see what happens. And Brucey looked for not Najim there. Looks like he was trying to find Sergio Rivas, but the ball didn't quite get there, and San Antonio does take control. If you're joining us live, guys, thanks for being here. My name, of course, is Seth, if you've never been with us before. If you're with us on Facebook or YouTube, you can throw comments and questions in the chat. We'd love to hear from you guys as the match goes on. We'll talk about it. We'll talk New Mexico United, talk USL. We're going to stay apprised of scores from around the Mountain Division tonight and how that affects New Mexico United in their playoff hunt with 9 matches remaining. Looks like there was a foul called there. San Antonio line up to take the free kick. Let's see who's standing over that. All right. Around 35 yards out. Not necessarily something that you're going to try to put on frame. You're going to look for someone to make a run into the middle of the area just like that. Great header there by Kalen Ryden out to the top of the box. San Antonio does take control, but it goes out for a corner. Okay. Corner's taken short, and it does go out for a goal kick to United. So you can kind of see what happened there on that free kick, and where someone with the veteran knowledge and ability of Kalen Ryden, his height and the things that he can do in the air, he really helps control and command that goal area when he's back there. While he was out with an injury earlier this year, that's something that we really missed. Not that Justin Schmidt is a poor defender by any means, but Kalen Ryden just has that extra step. New Mexico United gets into the box. Oh, the flag goes up for offside. Oh, I would love to see another angle of that. I'm not convinced that he was. I would love to see replay of that, but I don't think we're going to get one. That's unfortunate. That was a really good attempt there. Really, really good chance for New Mexico United. And would love to see them do that a little bit more. And that's probably what they're going to have to do tonight. Exploit the space in between the defenders and try to work off the wings a bit. See the ball played out wide to Brucey. Brucey dribbles back towards the middle. Nothing open there. Gets towards the top of the box and plays it back out wide to Austin Yearwood. Takes a deflection off of a San Antonio player, and that's out for a New Mexico United corner. I gotta tell you, I have been super impressed with Austin Yearwood. Ever since year one, Austin has been a fantastic player, but his development from year one until now has just been absolutely tremendous. I would love to see Austin get a chance at the next level. I think with a few more results this year, with a few more clean sheets, I think Austin could easily be in the running for player of the year, or at least, all league player this year. And I think that would be absolutely fitting for him and the work that he's done, not only at the defensive end, which is really, really where he has shined all season long, but, going forward, he's developed into a pretty good part of the offense as well. We've seen him create opportunities off the cross. We've seen him put an absolute worldie into the back of the net earlier this season. And so Austin he's still a young player, someone that can still develop, and he's really shown what he can do this year. Again, if you're with us on Facebook or YouTube, you can throw questions and comments in the chat, and we'll get those on the screen. We'll talk about it, and would love to get your thoughts on the match as we go through it. Entering the 10th minute of play here, United's been on the front foot for most of it, and while they're not necessarily playing a high press, you can see them kind of slowly closing down the space on the San Antonio players, and there you see that small amount of pressure create a missed opportunity for San Antonio. And Tenari there with a bad pass that might have taken a deflection ends up, and that's going to be a foul called on Rashid Tete on Epps. Free kick to San Antonio around, looks like 25, 27 yards out, maybe closer to 30. But Rosh just went up into the back of him. Let's take a look over at Austin Bold. Let's see, that match is now in the 39th minute. Omar Sis has picked up a yellow card as well, still 1-1 over there. Let's take a look at the RGV Atlanta United 2 before this. Atlanta United 2 has taken a 1-0 lead over RGV. So another match there to pay attention to that could have an impact on the Mountain Division standings. Ball played in over the top, and it goes off of the head. I'm not sure who that is there just yet. Deplane. Went off ahead of Deplane and out for a goal kick. Another well-delivered free kick. That's 2 down that we've seen from San Antonio. Placed into the box. The first Kalen Ryden was able to get to and get a head on it. That one there went just off the top of the plane's head. That could have been dangerous had he gotten a better positioning on it. So United's somewhat fortunate there. Rosh playing the ball up now to Daniel Brewster on the right wing. Brucey looking for some help, plays it back into the middle where Chris Weehan is waiting all by himself. Sergio Rivas now towards the corner of the box, plays it in. Oh my word. Sergio Rivas goes crossbody, and that ball is wide left. I'm not entirely sure. I'm not 100% positive he was looking for the cross there. He may have actually just been trying to put that on goal, and he came unbelievably close to getting a goal there and putting United 1-0 up here in the 12th minute. Lots of early aggression from New Mexico United. I like what I'm seeing so far. This lineup that Troy Lesesne has put out is paying dividends early on, and we're seeing some opportunities for United that we normally wouldn't see with guys like JPG in there. And so I think there are some folks that are going to be really happy with what they've seen so far. Let's take a look at, while we've got a moment, we'll take a look at the RGV Atlanta United 2 match. Atlanta United 2 kicked things off super early there. Amadou Diop scored in the 3rd minute. Aiden McFadden on the assist. And under the current live standings, New Mexico United does now sit ahead of RGV. And moved up into 5th place. Again, a lot of time left to play in each of the matches tonight. New Mexico United will not be back up above the playoff line no matter what happens tonight. But if results go our way, United could be within 2 points of 4th place. Austin Yearwood gets the ball, tries to clear it out, gets up towards midfield, but it does fall to San Antonio once again. Andrew Tenari comes charging out, and he runs right past the San Antonio player. Somehow, both Andrew Tenari and Rashid Tete got away with potential fouls there. David Najem plays the ball over to Daniel Bruce. Oh, impossible angle for Brucey there. Puts it right across the face of the goal. And Brucey is upset about something. I'm not entirely sure what, but unbelievable. Oh, he nutmegged Matt Cardone. And I think what happened was the AR might have said that Cardone didn't get a touch on it and would have been a goal kick, but it is out for a New Mexico United corner here in the 14th minute. My guess is Chris Wehan is out there to deliver. Ball goes into the box, a little bit short though. Oh, David Najem puts it right into that one. It goes over the goal. Looks like it might have taken a deflection by the way the referee's signaling. 15th minute, another corner for New Mexico United. Chris Wehan once again delivers the ball into the box, takes a kick off of a San Antonio defender, falls to David Najem. But, Chris Wehan, what a tackle. What a tackle by Chris Wehan. Takes the ball right off of him and takes the ball back for New Mexico United. Ball gets played back to Alex Tambakis, who clears it out toward just past midfield. And let's see, Sergio Rivas has it over Daniel Bruce. Chris Wehan now plays out wide left for Austin Yearwood is waiting. Austin looking forward, no one there, plays it back. United's going to reset and look for another angle in. Ooh, nice few passes there. Got the ball into the box for Armando Moreno. Moreno puts a shot, but it's off frame and it's a goal kick for San Antonio. New Mexico United currently with 60% of possession. Now, this is something we talked about with Harry on Tuesday night. Harry, did say that San Antonio is the type of club that is more than happy to sit there and play, 30, 40% possession. And, they're still able to put some quality shots on target. And so it'll be interesting to see if they're able to do that here. Sondos, how are you? Nice to have you with us on the broadcast here tonight. Hopefully you're enjoying what we're seeing so far from New Mexico United. Let's take a quick look around the scoreboard. Let's see if anything has changed in either of the other games you're watching. Atlanta United 2 still holds a 1-0 lead over RGV. That is in the 18th minute. Colorado Springs and Austin Bold FC. Colorado Springs has picked up a second goal. Haji Berry added to his tally in the 41st minute. It is now 2-1 Colorado Springs. So once again, Colorado Springs is trying to hold up to their end of the bargain here tonight and keep Austin Bold from climbing up that table a little bit. Throw in for San Antonio. They're playing off that right side here quite a bit so far tonight. I think they want to try to move it over to the left, but they haven't really done so successfully so far. And United's play tonight has really kind of limited them in what they have available for them in terms of options. Austin with a pretty strong throw there. Azira looking for Tanari. And the ball ends up going back in favor of San Antonio. Appreciate everyone being here tonight. If you are with us, you can, of course, get your comments and questions in the chat. We'll talk about them as we go through the night. If you're joining us for the first time, my name is Seth. We typically do a podcast here on our channel on Tuesday nights. So we talk about New Mexico United. But tonight we are doing a live watch along with some folks. If you want to, we appreciate you being here. And if you're enjoying it, maybe this is something we can do a little bit more of for the remainder of the season. We have a platform now where we can sit down and talk to folks and have a pretty good broadcast. Ball in the middle for San Antonio, and it's cleared out by David Najim. And Najim clears another one with another diving header right there. Once again into the box, and it's a save by Alex Timbakis. Great reaction there from Alex Timbakis. And this is kind of what we thought San Antonio might try to do: play the ball in off the wings and get that height advantage in there. They haven't really done too much with it to this point, but that little stretch of play there shows what they can do and how that height advantage would play out for them. And going back the other way, ball does go out for a San Antonio throw, once again deep in their own half. 20th minute, 0-0 your scoreline. New Mexico United have looked to be the aggressors so far, coming out with a different lineup than what we typically see. And I think, kind of surprised the referee hasn't signaled the San Antonio player to move back quite a little bit. He scooted up the field quite a ways on that throw in. Kalen Ryder with an interesting back pass there to Austin Yearwood. And again, there you see the height differential between Schoberg and Armando Moreno. There was really no chance that Armando was going to get to that ball there. Chris Weehan now looking over to the right for David Najim. Najim plays the ball. Oh, over the top. Armando Moreno. Oh, what a shot by Armando Moreno. That ball it would have been just wide, but Matt Cardone reached down and got a hand on it and kept the ball in play. Beautiful little pass over the top there. Mitchell Tainer had nothing that he could do there in terms of stopping that one. Moreno, what an attempt there. Twenty-second minute, 0-0 is your scoreline still. Free kick to New Mexico United in their own half. Kalen Ryden standing over it. You can see the movement of New Mexico United tonight. Guys are guys are moving in and out of different positions. Tainter there gets a header on the free kick. Back to Cardoni. Nearly didn't get enough on it. You see Brucey coming in, tried to clean it up. But, we've seen Brucey over on the left. We've seen Moreno up top. We've seen Bees playing all through, dropping down almost like a false nine, almost a 10, a cam, whatever you want to call it, playing through the middle of the field there. And it's giving United a number of different looks, even within this lone formation. And, you see, again, the size difference there. Mitchell Tainter gets a foot in on Brucey and trips him up. I think there's a good 6 inches to a foot there difference between Daniel Bruce and Mitchell Tainter. So, but that's one of the great things about Brucey. Watching him play live, he's one of those guys that he's going to give you 110%. He will go at the guys that are bigger than him. He's not going to take anything from anyone. And we've seen it time and time again with him. He has no problem at all facing off against guys with those size advantages. Michael Azir dropping a little bit deep there. Kalen Ryden bringing the ball out to midfield, looking over the top for, Brucey kind of gets an elbow to the back of the head. Nothing is called from the referee, and it's going to be San Antonio ball. Cardoni takes it there and plays it to Mitchell Tainter. Moreno trying to chase the ball down. And yeah, even though they're not standing side by side, you can just see the difference in size between the United forwards and the San Antonio defenders. Sergio Rivas tries to put a shot, but it's blocked. New Mexico United recovers, recycles, that sets up at the top. Brucey again going in on Mitchell Tainter. Somehow that ball stays in play. And this is what this is what I was just talking about. Brucey's not afraid to go against those guys that are bigger than him. Great little duel right there. All right, halftime now in Colorado Springs. That match is still 2-1 Colorado Springs. RGV still trails 1-0 to Atlanta United 2. Andres Flores has picked up a yellow card. That match is now in the 26th minute. So lots going on, lots to pay attention to, a lot to follow. 25th minute, still no score. Armando Moreno nearly gets a touch to that ball as Cardoni is a second slow to get it out from under his feet. That could have been disastrous for San Antonio. All right, let's see. David Najim going to take the throw. Who's he looking for? There you go. Sergio Rivas creates a little bit of space. Najim gives it right back and immediately commits the foul. So a San Antonio free kick. Not the best series right there, but it kind of shows a little bit of what United can do in that situation. Would have loved to have seen the pass back from Rivas to Najim with a little bit more pace on it, or Najim to come up to it a little bit quicker. That way we don't see that foul happen. Kind of an unnecessary thing, if in my opinion, from watching what was happening there. All right, down at the other end, throw for New Mexico United. And San Antonio has come out in a press here to try to force an error from New Mexico United. Najim delivers the ball into Brucey. Goes back to Najim, who sends it up into the stands now for a San Antonio throw. Probably not the way that one was drawn up, but with the pressure from San Antonio in the back, there weren't too many options that David Najim had there open to him. Back pass towards Schoberg, kind of gets away from him, just like he does beat Moreno to it, and Cardone sends it out towards midfield. Would love to see a little bit more, towards the top of the box, middle of the area, for United. I think that's going to open up some chances here because you can see space in between these San Antonio defenders and where United could potentially go with it. And Nathan gets up on top of the back of Rashid Tete, rides him down, and clearly a foul. And United decides, instead of letting Kalen ride and take it, they're going to have Alex Tambakis come up and take it from around 24 yards outside of goal. Alex tells everyone to head upfield, and as they do, San Antonio makes some adjustments as well to try to cover the incoming passing. Ball ends up falling to Sergio Rivas, and you see Daniel Bruce trying to make an attempt, and I think the referee is going to get Rashid for a foul here, and he's going to be shown yellow to Rashid Tete here in the 29th. Probably nothing in that, probably nothing intentional, but it was a foul. So New Mexico United does have 6 shots so far on the match. San Antonio only has 2. It'll be interesting. Let me take a look here, and I will see how many of those have actually been on target. Because I don't think, none of United's shots have been on target. San Antonio has 1 shot on target. Two of United's went across the face of the goal, came close. They're from pretty tough angles, so it would have been hard to put either of those in. I imagine the XG on both of those was pretty small, and then the XG on the last shot from Moreno was probably not terrible, but again, it was a tight angle. Moreno didn't have a whole lot of room to go anywhere with it, other than to try to go for that near post. So that's where he tried to go. I think if he had gotten it up a little bit, there might have had a chance to go in. Half an hour gone. New Mexico United, San Antonio, 0-0 from Toyota Field. Pretty even match so far in terms of the actual level of play on the pitch. We haven't really seen one side out duel the other. Anything that Mexico United does, of course, have more in the possession era and more in the possession, but that, of course, as we know, doesn't mean much in soccer. It really doesn't. And all it takes is a handful of passes to make a goal happen or a penalty. And so 30-40% possession doesn't really matter when it comes to that. Oh, shot from Andrew Tenari is deflected. Oh, my word. The initial cross in was brought down by San Antonio, but it fell to Andrew Tenari, who put a shot in, but it took a deflection out wide for a corner. corner sent in. It goes all the way over everybody out to the far side. It does take a touch off of a San Antonio player, so it's out for another New Mexico United throw. New Mexico United with 4 corners on the night already. Tenari there looks once again to send the ball in. No one gets to the end of it, and it ends up falling to Matt Cardone. Chris Wehan looking. Chris Wehan. Wehan puts it up and over the bar. Good attempt there from Chris Wehan. Drove into the box and had a good look at goal. Just got under it a bit too much. Sondos, I'm not entirely sure what you're saying there, but let's take a look around the league. RGV has come back and pulled an equalizer out in that match. Let's see what has gone on there. Elvis Amo has picked up the equalizer in the 30th minute. That match is now in the 34th, heading into the 35th minute. RGV and Atlanta United 2-1-1. Again, a match there that we are paying attention to. Austin Bold and Colorado Springs still at halftime. We will update you if there are any changes in that one as things go on. But here we continue. Matt Cardone gets play restarted with a kick up towards midfield. Takes a headed attempt from, looks like, Sergio Rivas. Goes out for a throw to San Antonio. San Antonio now trying to build something. Cross comes into the box. It goes all the way over. Oh, what is going on? Okay. Let's see. There was a shot there by Jose Gallegos. It did go wide, but the ball was kept in play and then took a deflection out to the left side of the pitch or the right side of the pitch, depending on which way you're looking at it. The ball there sent in the middle. San Antonio are definitely playing their way into this match. They've looked a little bit more dangerous here these past 30 seconds or so. Another ball out wide here. Cross comes in and saved by Alex Tambakis. And that ball is then cleared away by Michael Azira. Another great cross there in by San Antonio. And the header, let's see, the ball was headed in by Epps. Great header by Epps, just right at Alex Tambakis' chest level. Not a whole lot there to threaten, really, but it's something that you do see misplayed from time to time. Alex wasn't able to grab it, but the ball did fall to Michael Azira, who cleared it out. And here again, another cross in by San Antonio, but the flag does go up for offside. All right, here we go. 36th minute. New Mexico United trying to, I wouldn't say regroup, but gather themselves up. Ball played forward by Sergio Rivas, looking for Armando Moreno. Was just too much on it. Ball is cleared away by San Antonio as they look to try to go the other way, but Andrew Tenari gets a touch in there. And okay, Sergio Rivas gets taken down from behind, but there's no foul called. Andrew Tenari also nearly taken down No foul again. Ball ends up in the hands of Matt Cardone. So it looks like there might have been a couple opportunities for a foul to be called in that run of play. I have to go back and look at that in a little while just to see what actually did happen. Maybe some feet got tangled, but that's how it looked to me on the live. Another crosser in the box. That one is cleared out by Rashid Tete. Yeah, San Antonio have definitely played their way into the match. They're definitely feeling it a bit more. And you can see what they're trying to do, trying to play the ball into the box, off the wings, and use their height, again, to their advantage. And they're starting to create a little bit of space in behind the New Mexico United back line. Ball up top from Sergio Rivas looking for... Oh, no, that ball went up to Sergio Rivas. I apologize. But a foul is called, and a yellow is shown to, I'm not sure who at the moment. Might have been Schoberg, but we will double check that and let you know. So 38th minute, New Mexico United gets a free kick from around 25 yards outside, probably closer to 28 yards outside of the box. Chris Wehan will stand over that. We have seen Chris score from around this. And I was correct that yellow card did go to Axel Schoberg for the foul. Let's see what Chris Wehan can do from here. United this year has gone to quite a bit more from a designed set piece type of philosophy. And Chris, not a good delivery on that set piece there. I can't help but think, looking at how everyone lined up, that maybe someone missed their assignment there, missed what they were supposed to do, which is unfortunate, but play continues. Referee plays advantage after Epps goes down after getting tangled up with Austin Yearwood. San Antonio still looking for the opportunity. Ball now goes out wide once again to Epps. Epps looks to deliver, gets the ball into the box. Headed, goes over to the left-hand side. United struggling a little bit to get the ball cleared out, but the ball does eventually go out of bounds off of New Mexico United, and it's a San Antonio throw. I think Gallegos was the one that got ahead to that initial cross there before the ball fell for United to try to clear out. And San Antonio plays the ball all the way back, tries to reset. RGV and Atlanta United 2 still 1-1 as they head into the 42nd minute. Colorado Springs and Austin Bold second half is underway. They're in the 52nd minute. There were two changes at halftime. Omar Sis came off for Juan Torres, and Josue Soto came off for Nicholas Hines. So those matches are definitely have got some action left in them. We'll keep an eye on those as we continue. 5 minutes left to play here in the first half. Judging by what we've seen so far, there haven't really been too many stoppages. I would say a minute, maybe two of stoppage time here at the end of the first half, unless something happens between now and then. And Epps is clearly offside on that one. Flag goes up, and United will get the free kick from around midfield. As someone who is certified as a coach for AYSO and is a certified regional referee for AYSO as well, offside is one of the hardest rules to explain to people and show them how it actually applies to their run of play itself in a game. Oh my word. Ooh, ball got played out wide there to, I believe that was Victor Euro. Got a shot in, was deflected up and crossed into the box. Oh, man. Ooh. Maloney gets a header there, but it is well wide, well off target. Yeah, San Antonio have definitely picked things up here in, say, the last 10 minutes or so. And had Maloney been on target, I don't think there was a chance in the world that Alex Tambakis gets to that ball. That should have been 1-0 to San Antonio right there. I have to say, so far tonight, I'm impressed with the way that Andrew Tenari is playing. He's playing. He's playing really tough. He's stepping in. He's trying to make plays on the ball. He's not making dumb mistakes. I think he's given up 1, maybe 2 fouls, but none of them have been to the point of being detrimental to United so far, which is something that has been unfortunate in his favor in the past. So, pretty impressed so far. And once again, there we see Chris Wehan stepping in, taking control for United, and there's going to be a foul called. Referee steps in as some words are being exchanged between Maloney and it looks like Armando Moreno or Sergio Rivas potentially. Looks like this might be a final warning here for Maloney. I'm not entirely sure. But discussions continue to go on here. Kalen Ryden explaining something to the referee. Just over meant to play in regular time here in the first half. New Mexico United, San Antonio, 0-0. It's like Caitlin's going to be one to take the free kick here. Again, like I said, there hasn't been too much, so maybe a minute, maybe 2 of stoppage time. I don't see it being anything more than that, given the way that play has run so far. Caitlin's free kick is headed out for a United throw. See Austin Yearwood over on the left tries to get it up. Ball takes a couple touches, ends up with New Mexico United. And now San Antonio has possession once again, going the other way. Rashid Tete looking to close down on Epps. Epps goes to his right, takes a shot. It's off the post. Oh, my word. The shot by Epps goes across the goal, off the left off the left upright, and straight back to Alex Tambakis. Oh, what a take from Epps there. And there is the halftime whistle. As I, again, like I said, 1 minute, maybe 2 at most. We got a few seconds there. New Mexico United, San Antonio 0-0 going into halftime. Wow. I mean, that would have been a tremendous goal for San Antonio there right before the whistle blew. Unbelievable. So, yeah, give me just a minute. We're going to step away and grab some more drink, and we'll be right back, and we'll talk about the first half, guys. All right, folks, I am back. Thank you guys so much for joining us. If you have been following along or if you're joining us for the first time, my name, of course, is Seth. Thank you guys for being here. This is our first watch along as Somos Moss NM this year. We finally have a platform to do it on and one that allows you to interact with us while we're watching the game. If you're not out at Civic Plaza, I appreciate you being here with us. First half is in the books. San Antonio 0, New Mexico United 0. We got a lot to talk about, a lot to get into about the first half there. But before we do, quick update from around the Mountain Division. Atlanta United 2 has retaken the lead against RGV. Darwin Mateus has picked up a second goal, has picked up a second goal for Atlanta United 2, assisted by Robbie Mertz in the 44th minute of that match. And that game is now at halftime. Over in Colorado Springs, Colorado Switchbacks do maintain their 2-1 lead over Austin Bold FC. That match is in the 62nd minute. So as things stand right now in the Mountain Division, with the live results, El Paso Locomotive sit on 47 points. Colorado Springs sits on 43. San Antonio is on 41. Austin Bold on 36. New Mexico United does jump up one spot into 5th above RGV with 32. And RGV slides down to 6th on 31 points. And Real Monarchs, of course, bring up the rear at 16. That's a live look at the standings in the Mountain Division. And if things hold the way they are right now, New Mexico United will still sit 4 points out of a playoff spot with 8.5 games left to play in the regular season. But as we look at things, how they stand right now in this match, New Mexico United came out and they looked good early. New Mexico United really dominated the first 30 minutes of the match. They put in a number of shots. We'll get those actual stats up. They controlled possession. They looked good defensively. They didn't really allow San Antonio to get into a groove and try to get into what they wanted to do. And they really limited the opportunity that Nathan and Jose Gallegos had to be on the ball. So looking at the stats for the first half, New Mexico United with 53% of the possession, 47% for San Antonio FC. New Mexico United 4 corners to 1 for San Antonio, 1 offside call for New Mexico, 4 for San Antonio. Let's keep going. 10 shots for New Mexico United in the first half, only 1 of which was on target. San Antonio did have 5 shots with 2 on target. So that's going to be an issue for New Mexico United if they can't get on target. This is something we talked about Tuesday night on the podcast. New Mexico United has to be better. They have to create those chances. They have to finish those chances. And if you can't be on target, you can't finish chances. So we'll have to see what United can do in terms of correcting that in the second half when they come back out. Another thing I do want to note is the crossing statistics over on USLChampionship.com. New Mexico United according to USL Championship, has attempted 6 crosses tonight, none of which have been accurate. And San Antonio have 8 crosses, and they've been successful on 3 of them. As the first half went on, we saw San Antonio finding their rhythm a little bit more, finding opportunities to work into space off the wings, finding opportunities to cross the ball in. Now, United's inability to connect on crosses is to be somewhat expected. We talked about the height difference multiple times. We saw it during the first half. If you just look at Schoberg and Moreno standing next to each other, there is a clear disadvantage there. If you look at Daniel Bruce standing up next to Mitchell Tainer, there's a clear disadvantage there. So United is going to have to find a way to work around that. Now, we saw that the first time these two clubs played in New Mexico this year. We saw New Mexico United work their way either just inside the box or right on the edge of the box and taking shots from distance and negating the height disadvantage that they were at compared to San Antonio FC. And so maybe we need to see it. Maybe we see a little bit more of that here in the second half. Troy is not one to typically use a halftime subs. Maybe we see one here to maybe bring on Devin and give a little bit more height to the United forwards. So that's something worth taking a look at. And as you saw on the highlight package right there, Epps did get a tremendous shot off across the face of the goal, went off the woodwork and bounced right back to Alex Tambakis. I've seen that sort of situation happen multiple times where that ricochet comes off, hits the goalkeeper and back into the net for an own goal. Fortunately, Alex had his awareness up and was able to get around, pick up and cover the ball, preventing San Antonio from picking up a goal there. And we definitely saw San Antonio play their way into the match. They definitely felt more comfortable as the first half went on. We saw the crosses they were sending in. We saw them creating some difficulty for the United back line. And we saw at times a little bit of disorganization among the back three of United, allowing San Antonio to get into those positions. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens going forward here in the second half. I don't think we make any changes to personnel here at halftime. I don't think we make any changes to the actual formation on the field. I just think you see United come out and try to communicate a little bit better, maintain their shape a little bit better. And by doing that, I think it's going to once again lock down Gallegos and Epps and Nathan and keep them from getting the attempts that they did end up getting towards the end of the half. So, guys, if you're just joining us, my name, of course, is Seth. It is halftime of New Mexico United and San Antonio FC from Toyota Field. We are Somos Mas NM. I thought Jacob and Earl might potentially join me tonight. They haven't to this point. So we're hoping that one of them, Harry sent me a DM over on Twitter. Harry's out at the game. No idea, my friend. Damn, how did that last ball not go in? So, Harry, if you're listening, appreciate you, bud. I don't know if you're listening again. I know Harry is out at the game, which is great for him. At some point, we will get out live to the stadium and do that. Let's see. Let's see. Elsewhere in the world of sports, San Diego is beating the Atlanta Braves, unfortunately. Georgia Tech might be beating North Carolina, which would be good. So, all right. So, folks, if you are here, of course, you can. If you're following on YouTube or Facebook, you can jump into the chat. You can give us your thoughts, your comments, and we'll talk some New Mexico United. We'll talk some USL. And, we'll enjoy this match together. So I appreciate you being here with us. This is something new that we're trying. And I think we don't have too many road games left after this. I know we've got Lou City. I know we've got San Diego. And I think we have an RGV match away. So we don't have too many more opportunities to do something like this. But we're going to do it as often as we can. So, all right, there you see the USL Championship scoreboard. We have, of course, been updating you throughout the night on 2 of those matches. Monarchs, of course, play tomorrow. That match will likely have no impact whatsoever on the Mountain West, or on the not Mountain West, on the Mountain Division standings, no matter what the outcome is there, unless one Royale Monarchs goes on a like 9 or 10 match win streak and pick up like a plus 30 goal differential in that time. But yeah, we should be pretty close to getting back underway for the second half here. So can't wait to see what happens there. If you are with us, let's see. If you were Troy, what hey, I'm guessing that might be Earl there in the chat. So whoever that is, appreciate you being here. Seth, who are we needing to win more, Austin or Colorado? Colorado. We are needing Colorado to win, because if Austin wins that match tonight, that would put us, even with a win, we would still be 5 points back of a playoff spot. So by Austin losing, that puts us in a better position to pick up points towards that playoff spot. So an Austin loss and a win by us puts us 2 points out of fourth place. An Austin draw puts us 3 points out. That's, of course, assuming we win. Austin draws, we win, we're 3 points out. Austin loses and we win, we're 2 points out. Austin wins, we win, there's no difference. We're still 5 points out of the playoffs. So, yeah, Colorado losing doesn't do anything for us. That it really doesn't. I mean, a draw kind of helps us, but we definitely prefer a Colorado win in this instance tonight. Also following the RGV match, if you're just now joining us, Atlanta United 2, RGV. That match is 2-1 in favor of Atlanta United 2, and they are still at halftime over there. An Atlanta United win helps us, number one, because sorry, I got distracted there for just a second. Oh my word, did the Atlanta Braves just hit a grand slam? No, 3-run homer. I apologize. 3-run homer by the Braves, by Dansby Swanson, it appears. So, oh no, Soler. I apologize. Jorge Soler with a 3-run homer. Anyway, so yeah, Earl, if that's you, just keep popping questions out. That's fantastic. Appreciate that. So an Atlanta United 2 win over RGV helps us in a couple of different ways. One, it gives us the opportunity to pick up points on RGV. 2, it gives us goal differential, which isn't as important. But, and then 3, it's just, again, back to 1, it's those points. Getting ahead of RGV on points is important in the fact that if we finish a level on points as of right now, RGV has the tiebreakers over us. So we're cheering for Atlanta United 2 tonight. We're cheering for Colorado Springs tonight. And, of course, New Mexico United. So. All right, get my tweet out there. So let's see what United can do. San Antonio, of course, did take the second half kickoff after United took the opening one. I didn't see any changes to the team sheet. I'll double check that here. No changes for either side as play gets back underway. Springs is not a hard team to root for. No, they're not. Colorado Springs has been a pretty good club this year. Like, their story this year has been one that, we've enjoyed watching. I mean, I know we've kind of taken it to Colorado Springs this year. We beat them 3-1 3 times, I think it was. I'll have to double check that. But no, they've been fantastic this year. Haji Berry's a fantastic story. And it's good to see an MLS 2 team actually competing. There aren't very many that still do that. Again, most of those MLS 2 teams are just there as developmental. They don't necessarily come out to compete for USL Championship. So be interesting to see how that match turns out. We're keeping an eye on those. And all the updates tonight are, of course, brought to you by me and me alone, and I'm paying myself nothing for those. So appreciate anyone popping by in the chat, Facebook, YouTube. If you're watching, thanks for hanging out. You can get your questions and comments as Earl has been doing. We'll talk about those on the air, and and we'll hopefully see a goal here for New Mexico United here in the next matter of minutes. Some nervous moments there at the end of the first half with Epps getting the shot off the woodwork. New Mexico United definitely allowed them to play their way into the match over the last 15 minutes of the first half, and they definitely looked better as time went on. We here at Somos Moss are also sponsored by ourselves. Yes, we are. We absolutely are. Everything that we do, all of the content that we create, all of the source outlets and sources that we use comes from our own pockets. We pay out of pocket for everything. We make no money on any of this. We do it for love of the team, love of the sport, and love of making fun of Earl and Jacob's lack of love for the WWE. So that looked like it might have been a foul on Brucey, but apparently not, as Schoberg basically doubled him over. Matt Cardone plays the ball out of the back, however, and the referee says to continue. All right, that ball looks like it gets headed out. In terms of money, there is none. There is none. So if you want to contribute, if you want to help us out with the show, you can, of course, maybe set up a Patreon or something, or buy me a coffee page or something like that. If you guys want to help contribute to what we do and enjoy the content that we create here. So we want to be able to keep doing this for you guys. We want to do this year in and year out, as long as we have the club, and there's a lot to do, and I don't know if Earl and Jacob heard me earlier, but I've got a few things in the works. We might have some special content coming out in the next week and a half. I'm looking forward to that. Can't tell you guys exactly what it is yet, but as soon as I get the go ahead, we will let you guys know. 50th minute now, New Mexico United. Oh, not a great throw in there. Austin tried to get to Chris Wehan, but the ball was taken by who was that? Lindley, as he made a run forward, and the shot there goes wide. Still 0-0. That scares you, Earl? Why does that scare you? Like the fact that I have some irons in the fire? Is that what scares you? All right, let's take a look while this goal kick is getting set up here. Austin Bold, Colorado Springs Switchbacks FC, still 2-1 to Colorado Springs. That match is now in the 79th minute. Nicholas Hines came on at halftime for Austin Bold, has been substituted off in the 77th. I don't know what happened there. And in the meantime, here we go. First sub of the match for New Mexico United. Devin Sandoval comes on in the 52nd minute for Daniel Bruce. So I did mention it at halftime that we might see Devin come on and give a little bit more of a physical presence up top. I wasn't entirely sure that he would come on for Brucey. I think Brucey's had a pretty good match. Again, he's got that disadvantage, but Brucey's not afraid to match up with those guys. And I think this gives a little bit more presence up top, a little bit more physicality. And hopefully this will open up some opportunities for a few more opportunities for Moreno and Wehan to work together in the middle. Sergio Rivas tries to step in, doesn't get the ball. Tenari does step in, commits the foul. That's going to be around 35 yards out as Lindley takes the fall. No card there on Andrew Tenari. He might have been a little bit fortunate, but that's what Andrew Tenari does. So yeah, 2-1 Austin. 2-1 Colorado Springs over Austin Bold. Out of halftime now at HEB Park. RGV has now tied it up once again. Adrian Despay has picked up a second goal for RGV. That match is all square now, 2-2. So Atlanta United 2, we need you to come on and do something and help us out there a little bit. Yes, and so with that goal and RGV now being back level with Atlanta United 2, following the live standings, RGV does jump back over us back into 5th place. Earl, you got to hit puberty before you can grow a mustache. Dev looks so different without his hair and now with the mustache. When he first cut his hair, it was hard to kind of pick him out on the pitch. But now he's cut the hair even shorter now, and he's got the mustache. So my guess is he's either trying to become a PI or I don't know what he's doing. Ball apparently went out of bounds there. Devin continued to streak down the field as though it never did. Referee's whistle finally blows, and it's now back for a San Antonio throw. And here comes Moreno charging on Matt Cardoni. Cardoni just gets rid of it in time. Mike Azira gets the head to the ball, but it goes right to the feet of, I don't know, I couldn't see the number there. Free kick for United as Chris Wehan gets taken down. Or no, I guess they're going to say it's a throw. It looked like they called a foul when Bees went down, but apparently not. Andrew Tenari now looking for someone. Sergio Rivas. Ball crossed into the box there by Jose Gallegos, but there's no one there on the end of it, and it falls safely into the arms of Alex Tambakis. Tambakis has had a pretty good night so far. He's had a couple good saves on the only 2 shots that San Antonio has put on target. "55th minute, 0-0 your score." New Mexico United, I mean, they've got to get something like Colorado Springs has added a 3rd goal in the 82nd minute. Andre Lewis, 83rd minute, 3-1 Colorado Springs now. So that one should be well in hand. Ooh, nice play by nice ball by Dev there. We can see United with a little bit more of a high line now. They're showing that replay from before the half. You can see Cardoni urging his team to get forward here on this goal kick. Ball goes forward off of a United player out for a throw in. Kaylee Ryden clears it. Yes, thank you so much for joining. If you are here with us, you can, of course, join us live on Tuesday nights for our podcast. And if at any point you do see us live here, pop on over in the comments, get your questions and comments in the chat if you're on Facebook and on YouTube, and we will talk to you guys live throughout the shows. This is our first ever watch along for a New Mexico United match. We have the opportunity now with the platform StreamYard to put our streams out on multiple services, and it gives us more opportunities to interact with you guys. Dev with a trying to look for Austin. Pass didn't quite get there. United is looking for an attempt here in the final third. Ball does go out of play as Sergio Rivas can't corral the ball. San Antonio throw. But yeah, as I was saying, hop in the chat, talk with us. We'd love to talk some New Mexico United, talk some USL, and we talk some stadium if you guys want. But we're here. We're going to enjoy this match tonight. New Mexico United has looked pretty good so far. Controlled a lot of the action in the first half, and they are seeking a much needed 3 points tonight in order to drop some of the gap to the playoff spots. And San Antonio is a tough opponent no matter where you play them at. And I mentioned in my article, this week on ESPN Radio 117.com that aside from the playoff match last year against San Antonio, every single one of these matches has been won by the home team. So I wasn't 100% positive that this would bode well for United going down here this week. This is one of the matches that I thought was going to be extremely tough for United. And so far, they've stood up to San Antonio and taken everything they've thrown at them so far. Being found in 9 different countries, whereas numerous states in America. So yeah, our content is far-reaching. Our podcast is on every podcast platform imaginable, at least everyone that we know of. If we are not on the podcast platform that you so choose to use, please let us know, and we will figure out what we have to do to get on that platform. We want our content to go out to as many folks as possible. Harry has been DMing me a little bit throughout the night, talking with Harry. Harry is out. Harry is, of course, out at the match tonight. It's you can see some sparks from San Antonio. They've definitely, they played their way into the match. Took them a little bit to get going in the first half, but since about the 30-minute mark, they've definitely looked better. And I think if Moreno had played the ball early there, he would have had a chance to get Dev on the run. And they receive Dev back to Moreno. Moreno tries to take the shot on his right foot, but the wall that is Axel Schoberg just stood up in his way, and pretty easy deflection there. It looks like Tenari might pick up a yellow. I'm not 100% convinced. I can't see what the referee is doing, but we are now past the hour mark. New Mexico United, San Antonio FC 0-0. It's like a free kick was signaled for New Mexico United as they go to get us back underway. I love that fact, Earl. There we go. Another fun fact: Axel Schoberg can see all 9 countries that we are found in. He most likely can, given the fact that he's 6'7", and it is quite hilarious to watch him play against guys like Armando Moreno and Daniel Bruce, both of whom are approximately like 5'6", I believe. I think Bruce is shorter than that, but we'll give him the benefit of the doubt and call him 5'6". Foul on New Mexico United. I didn't entirely see what happened, but looks like the referee is giving a final talking to Rashid Tete. And looks like Nathan is getting into it a little bit with Armando Moreno. The referee is asking for everyone to please back up, take a breath, and not fight amongst themselves. Header by Kalen Ryden. Back out towards the midfield. Andrew Tenari takes control. Sergio Rivas plays it up to Chris Wehan. Wehan back out wide to Tenari. Tenari sends it into the feet of a San Antonio player and eventually gets it back to Sergio Rivas in the middle. David Najim now with a cross into the box, but Schoberg sends it out. Oh, no, I apologize. That was Tainter that sent that out, not Schoberg. San Antonio restarts play quickly as they look to push up that left side. They looked to try to go that way a little bit in the first half, but they weren't really able to with the way New Mexico United was playing. And here you see Kalen Ryden pushed all the way out on that left side here. Not his preferred position, but the chip goes in and Rashid gets ahead to it. Bicycle kick. And it's cleared by United back out to the top of the box. San Antonio still looking. And play kind of slowed there for just a minute as there was some question as to whether or not there might have been a penalty, but the referee said to continue playing. And United now, Sergio Rivas 1v4. There's no other. Plays the through ball to Armando Moreno. Moreno all alone in the box. You see him being marked there by Axel Schoberg. Sends the cross back over to Chris Wehan on the far side. Wehan with a left-footed shot, and it's blocked. Cardone picks it up. Tries to settle things just a little bit. I'm watching that run of play. I really think that had Armando Moreno kind of just, pulled the FIFA 21 fake shot stop, ball roll to the right, he would have been able to get around Axel Schoberg there. But the other opportunity he has potentially just go ahead and take it on his left. I know that's not his preferred foot, but I think if he had the opportunity there, maybe taking it might have been the best option. But again, the ball over to Bees. Bees had a good shot, good angle. Unfortunately, it did get blocked. Bad pass there from Sergio, and not really sure why Mike Azira didn't pick up on that pass. Sergio, you can see Sergio kind of shrugging his hands at it. San Antonio looking to get back into the box. Rashid Tete clears it back out near midfield. Another ball into the box. This one is headed out by San Antonio. Goal kick. Let's get caught up. Take a breath. All right. 64 minutes gone. We're in the 65th. 0-0, New Mexico United and San Antonio FC. And there you go from Earl. If this is your first time joining us, make sure to like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff, depending on which platform you're joining us on. If you're on YouTube, hit the bell, get notifications. I think there might be a bell on Facebook too. I know there's a notification thing on Twitter. So when we do go live, we're going to try to do this a little bit more. We may even do the podcast on all three platforms as well. So thank you guys for joining us. Appreciate you all being here. Don't be afraid to hop into the chat. Please don't be afraid. We want to talk to you guys. We want to hear stuff. We want to get your thoughts and opinions on how the match is going and how things around New Mexico United are going as well. Josh Suggs coming on for David Najim here in the 66th minute. Also, it looks like who else is coming on? Someone else is coming on. I didn't see the numbers. Salih Muhammad coming on for Sergio Rivas as well. Looks like so a double change for New Mexico United. Get some fresh legs out there for the club. All right, Colorado Springs and Austin Bold are in the dying moments of that match. Apologies, are in the dying moments of that match. Still 3-1 Colorado Springs. They're in the 4th minute of stoppage time already. I can't see that one going on for too much longer. So we'll flip over to New Mexico, to Atlanta United 2, RGV. RGV has picked up a 3rd goal. They have come storming back. That match is now 3-2 in the 67th minute. Jonas Fellberg picked up a goal in the 65th for RGV, and that's going to make things a little bit more difficult for New Mexico United. That now puts RGV 2 points up on New Mexico United in the live standings. Something's got to give here, folks. New Mexico United needs a goal, and Epps there with probably a second good shot of the match goes just wide right. I think I think Timbakis had a beat on it had it been on target. 68th minute, 0-0. Both clubs are pushing here. San Antonio trying to secure their Dev with a shot there. He takes a turn and shoots with his left. It does get bottled up by Matt Cardone once again. So you can kind of see a little bit there from New Mexico United, try a little bit of a counter. Not a high percentage shot there by Dev, given the need to turn and shoot. But it's promising in that you see United going forward and creating more opportunities here in the second half. 10 shots in the first half, only one was on target. I think that's our second or third shot on target here in the second half. So appreciate you folks joining us here. Be sure to pop in the chat, Facebook and YouTube. Send us your thoughts, your questions. We will talk about them on air. We do get your stuff live here on our platform. So don't be afraid to pop in there. We'd love to hear from you. And thank you for joining us. It's something we hope to keep doing. Play continues on the pitch. San Antonio is looking to go forward, and you see Andrew Tenard just being tenacious, trying to get that ball. All right, ball goes all the way back to Matt Cardone once again. Resets. Josh Suggs stepping in with those fresh legs. Ball goes out for, I guess that's the San Antonio throw, but you can see the difference of fresh legs from Josh Suggs. We haven't really seen Josh too much the last couple of weeks. So seeing him step in and bring those fresh legs, that's going to be big. We know Josh has a ton of pace. We know he has the ability to cut infield, and he can make a big difference here in the final 20 plus minutes. Ball goes out of play once again for another throw in for San Antonio. Still a fairly clean match so far from these two sides. I believe we've only got 2 yellow cards. Yeah, 2 yellow cards so far. Both sides are playing tough. They're playing physical, but they're not being stupid about it. They're making smart decisions. And we see the ball cleared there by Alex Timbakis. The plane gets it, sends it back up to the right wing, and the ball is cleared out by United. Tenari now. Tenari gets taken down from behind, and the referee is going to call for a foul. A free kick to United, 71st minute. 20 minutes to play. New Mexico United has got to step up and get something taken care of. All right, and it is now final out in Colorado Springs. Colorado Springs Switchbacks 3, Austin Bold FC 1. Oof. Tenari just got leveled. Smart play by Rashid Tete right there, playing that ball out instead of trying to bring it down with the San Antonio player all over him. I have a hard time understanding why the referee didn't signal something there when Tenari just got absolutely bowled over. San Antonio gets things started deep in New Mexico United territory. It's like Josh Suggs might have stepped in there, taking the ball off the San Antonio player, and it's out. So you're going to call Tenari, you're going to show Tenari a yellow for that. I'm sorry, a little bit biased there, but maybe. I guess I can see it. But yellow card to Andrew Tenare. I'll have to consult my yellow card tracker to see where that puts him in terms of possible suspension. I know that he was still shy of picking up a suspension the last time I checked it. So the last few times out on the pitch, he's been pretty well. But anyway, free kick San Antonio from the right side. You've got they did pretty well on their free kicks earlier in the half, early in the game. That one gets cleared by Dev. Nice clearance too, all the way out past midfield. Attempted back. Oh, that might be a yellow for Kalen Ryden. And it is. I believe that was that's a good question. We'll look that up. Kalen knew exactly what he was doing there, taking down Mitchell Tainer. Free kick to San Antonio straight ahead from around 30, 32 yards out. And they're going to give it a ride on goal, but it is through the uprights. Good for 3 points by Nathan. Unfortunately, there is no American football team on this field, so it doesn't count. But interesting choice to go for it there. I think they probably would have been better off trying to run a set piece there, try to play the ball in over the top a little bit. And Alex Tambakis sends the resulting goal kick directly out of play. Pretty sure that's not what he meant to do, but yeah. Josh Suggs stepping in there. Josh Suggs gets pulled down by Nathan. Free kick to United. And it looks like Tambakis is going to send everyone forward, which is the right decision. Okay, now they decided to do that, but Alex sends this one deep and stays in play this time. Nice little back heel from Mondo Moreno to Dev Sandoval. Gets over to Tenare. Man. Referee signals advantage, although United is not trying to advance the ball. Moreno now, 21, takes a shot with his left, but it's deflected back out to midfield. United resets. Oh, Kalen. Kalen tries to play the ball out to the left for Josh Suggs. Suggs does not make a move onto the ball, and the ball gets intercepted by Lindley. Lindley and Epps take off down the right side. There's potential for danger, but the ball gets played into the box, and Alex Tambakis grabs it. '77th minute, 0-0. This match has definitely opened up. The teams are definitely taking some chances here. And I have a feeling we're going to see a winner. I have a feeling we're going to see a winner here in the last 14 minutes or so. I don't know what side yet at this point, but they are definitely headed that way. And I think this is the second or third time that this particular San Antonio player has gone down for what looks like a potential cramp. He will have to come off the pitch for a few moments because he did receive treatment. And we do have a sub coming in now for San Antonio. Epps is coming off for Justin Dillon. Okay. Attacking piece here coming on for San Antonio. Dillon was one of the early season guys that we were looking at. Epps, of course, has come on later in the season to be a force. So has Nathan and Jose Gallegos. So this gives them another this gives them a fresh legged attacker here for the close of this match. And it looks like Cello is coming on as well. I didn't see who is coming off, but I believe that is the last Cello in for tonight. Okay, I couldn't see the graphic. I didn't know who it was, but so that is it. That is all the subs for New Mexico United tonight. They have now used their 3 substitution windows. I believe San Antonio has 2 more opportunities to sub in here before the end of the match. '79th minute, ball goes out for a San Antonio throw. Oh, that's right. Moreno turns, look for someone, but there's no one there for him to pass it to. Azir back to Tete out wide to David Najim. Or not Najim, sorry. Yeah, Najim is not in there. That is... I don't know who's playing on there right now. I got to figure out who that was out there. Josh Suggs now takes the ball out midfield, plays the ball back into Micah Zira. It's like Azira had stopped to tie his shoe there for a minute. Plays the ball back to Alex Tambakis. United trying to reset, figure out where they want to go on the pitch here once again. All right, ball goes out for a United throw. Mitchell Tainer there on the defensive stop. Tanari now. Or not Tanari, that's right. Moreno looks for Devin Sandoval. Sandoval plays the ball over to Josh Suggs. Suggs takes a peek. Nope, decides to play it back to to Salim Mohammed, who plays it. He goes over, goes out wide to Cello. Ball goes into the box for New Mexico United, and it's going to fall to Salih. Salih has looked dangerous since coming on. He's looking to make some passes, get some guys in the box. Dev went down in the box. I didn't see what happened, but he got back up. Referee let play continue. You could see that's where Cello was trying to go, but Dev had gone down. And now a ball all the way through from San Antonio into the feet of Alex Tambakis. Alex plays it out wide, and United looks to go again. still 0-0, 82nd minute. San Antonio throw once again. Oh, no, I apologize. Offside on Armando Moreno. I actually don't have the volume up on the game, so I don't know what the announcers are calling. I'm trying to call it myself as I see it. So as Cardoni sets up this kick here, check real quick on the RGV Atlanta United 2 match. RGV still leads 3-2 over Atlanta United 2, 83rd minute down at HEB Park. Rashid Tete tries to step in there. You see Josh Suggs, those fresh legs once again, stepping in, making the interception, but they can't get the link-up play as the ball goes back the other way immediately. Kalen Ryden once again steps up, takes the ball and makes the pass forward. Chris Wehan now out wide to Armando Moreno. Hey, there we go. Jacob has finally joined me here on the stream. And New Mexico United scores. Chris Wehan puts the ball in the back of the net. Oh, my word. What a goal.
I am the good luck charm, apparently.
It's a time that you joined. There we go. New Mexico United in the 84th minute have taken a 1-0 lead off the feet of Chris Wehan. Armando Moreno, fantastic through ball. Left-footed shot. Matt Cardoni did not stand a chance on that from point-blank range. Fantastic goal. We knew something was coming. I'm so glad to finally see that. Man, Jacob, how has your night been, man? Glad that you're here.
Oh, it's been very chaotic until, well, even that was chaotic. I mean, it took a deflection. I don't know if you caught that, but it took a deflection and fell perfectly for Wehan to run onto, and Cardoni was stuck in no man's land there. That was fantastic. Before that, I had a kid pee on the floor and a dog tear open the trash outside in the yard. So I have some stuff I have to do after the match, but figured we were in for an exciting ending, and sure enough, hopefully we can hold on here.
There we go. Yeah, no, it's been a time coming. I said it about 8 or 9 minutes ago. Like, I felt like a winner was coming. I felt like a goal was coming. I didn't know who it was going to be for. San Antonio has came on strong after the first half hour, and they've really looked the more dangerous of the two sides since that point. And so seeing the run of play here, United has had a few chances, and they finally found one that they could take advantage of.
I'm sure you mentioned it earlier, but Colorado did us a favor.
Yes.
And beat Austin.
Yep. We've been talking about that. Been keeping regular updates going on that. Also been keeping an eye on the RGV Atlanta United 2 match. Oh, free kick sent in. That ball is punched away by Alex Tambakis. San Antonio has been lights out with the delivery on their free kicks tonight. At least the ones that they've played directly into the box looking for someone.
Yeah, I don't know why they don't use Schoberg a little bit more on those and try to target him. He's 6'7", and I think our tallest guy is like 6'2".
Yeah.
Earlier, I know you said you don't have the sound on, but earlier the referee said, or not the referee, the announcers were saying on a free kick, yeah, this is a great spot for Schoberg to really do some damage, and then they send in a low free kick. Like, what the hell?
Yeah. No, I get it. I've been watching. Let's see, RGV Atlanta United 2. They are in the 86th minute now. RGV just made a series of 3 subs. They are still up 3-2 over there. '87th minute, New Mexico United up 1-0 on the road at San Antonio. New Mexico United's got a matter of minutes left to close this one out. I'm kind of feeling there might be about 3 minutes of stoppage time. There hasn't really been too much here in the second half. So I think we're going to be in for an exciting, 6 more minutes, 7 more minutes?
Yeah, that sounds about right. Ooh, okay.
Another ball over the top looking for, I think that was Dylan there.
Yeah,
But the ball is just too much. Falls to Alex Timbakis. I tell you, I was surprised a little while ago. Oh, Dev just a little while ago where
Harry's gonna say that was a flop. Even though the dude like clearly stepped on his ankle.
Yeah. I was looking at the call, no call earlier where Schoberg basically just doubled over Andrew Tenari and just nothing was done about it.
They weren't calling anything for Tenari, I think, because he flopped early.
Yeah.
Several times. And after that, the ref was just like, nah, dude. No. I don't care if you get run over by a train. I don't think you're going to get the call because it was like the boy who cried wolf.
Yeah. So, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, if you are joining us, we are nearing the end of the New Mexico United San Antonio match. We're in the 88th minute now. New Mexico United leading 1-0 on the road. We are live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. So if you are joining us, be sure to follow, subscribe, like, and hit the notification button, whatever you get, so that you get notified when we do live. The United goes the other way. Devin puts I don't know what that was, but Dev goes well wide right of the goal. I think it was just a matter of trying to kill time, but San Antonio gets things started rather quickly once again. But yeah, we are live. We're hoping to do this more frequently. Hopefully, Jacob and Earl hop on next time a little bit earlier. And Earl's been in the chat with us, and we've been having some fun, having some folks pop in and out, and appreciate you all being here. We have been keeping an eye on not only this match, but the other matches containing that would have a potential effect on the Mountain Division playoffs. As we see Cello, I believe, get dispossessed there. Micah 0, though, with a nice step in the middle to go right back the other way. Oh, no.
A 0 with a bad turnover there.
Yeah.
No miscommunication. Not quite as bad as Guzman's usual MO, but still not a great look. I've been impressed by a 0 a little bit tonight, though. He's stepped back and helped the back line out quite a bit. And I think him and Rivas worked really well. It was almost like a 0 was part of the back line and Rivas was part of the forwards there. And it seemed to work really well. They linked up pretty good together.
Yeah, Azira's has looked pretty good. We prided him on earlier in the season is that his defensive play, and I don't know what San Antonio is doing there. Referee clearly signaled a foul, and it's going to be United's ball or United throw. San Antonio decides to throw the ball the opposite way for whatever reason. But we've talked about Azira and that's what he excels at. He is a defensive midfielder. He has the ability to drop back. He has, I will say he has had a couple minutes. There we go. I call it 3 minutes. 3 minutes of stoppage time. So United, things are looking positive at the moment. And, there was a pass earlier where I think it was Sergio tried to pass it over to him in our own half, and the San Antonio player just tried to push the referee out of the way. But Sergio, Azira just there was no communication there either. So he's played well, but there have been a few moments tonight where I think that it could have been a little bit better. But here we go into the first minute of stoppage time. New Mexico United looking to close out this match here and pick up their first ever regular season win in San Antonio. And Amando Moreno and Josh Suggs are off to the races. Moreno with a step over. Tries to play the through ball to Josh Suggs. I think Josh was just a step or two offside. That would have been fun to see those two guys. The fresh legs for Josh Suggs has been tremendous here in the second half. Probably not what Josh intended there. Header goes out. Corner kick for San Antonio.
Well, it just gets held up there under the feet.
Yeah, sure does.
And luckily it's dealt with finally. But that was a little breathtaking there. Had to hold your breath there a little bit.
San Antonio gets the ball started quickly after the Armando Moreno clearance.
About a minute left here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is about as big a 3 points as you can imagine right now. I mean, we desperately need to hang on here, especially with Austin losing earlier.
United doing everything they can just to play the ball as far downfield as they possibly can. And that ball there somehow stays in play. Cardone stands over it, sends it right back downfield. It's going to make it about 22 yards out. Big header from Rashid Tete. Ball sent into the box once again. United gets a header from Josh Suggs. Moreno steps in. That's not going to be a handball there because the hands were inside the body.
I have no idea. Maybe by the trampling? All right, we are past the 3 minutes. Ooh. A handball.
Against San Antonio. Handball against San Antonio in the box. Yeah, we are past the 3 minutes of stoppage time. I can only imagine there's going to be a handful of seconds left. I have a feeling, either this
watch.
Yeah.
Checking the watch.
This kick is probably the yep.
He's not even going to kick it.
Full time, ladies and gentlemen. New Mexico United have gone down to San Antonio and picked up 3 points on the road. Big 3 points for New Mexico United.
Whew. That was a good outing. I know I didn't get on earlier, but we talked about it with Harry on Tuesday night, and I felt like if it was Rivas there instead of Guzman, we would have a good chance. Now the goal didn't come in that formation, but we did see us just come out on fire to begin the match, and honestly, both teams should have scored multiple goals in this one. There were chances galore. Yet San Antonio hit the woodwork. Overall, I feel like it was a great game with two quality clubs.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, these two clubs here, they always play each other tough. And this actually, this kind of goes against the trend a little bit. First regular season win for New Mexico United in San Antonio. And yeah, it's going to be, I'll pull up the post-match stats here in just a moment. We'll start breaking those down a little bit, but huge win for New Mexico United on the road. And, I'm glad to be wrong about my prediction for this week. I am so glad to be wrong about my prediction. This is one of those matches where I felt like we could go down in San Antonio, play well, and lose.
I mean, we very well could have. It very, very easily could have been San Antonio that scored there in the second half of the second half, and that's what we could have been saying was thought we played a really good game and just came up short. But Moreno and Wehan proving again how much we needed him and how good of a signing that was. I still would like a number 9 up top, but hey, I thought the Moreno, Wehan, who else was up front?
So the way that the team sheet came out, it had Chris Wehan, Armando Moreno, and Andrew Tenari as the forwards. But I think what happened is you saw Tenari drop back to more of a midfield role, and it basically ended up being almost like a 3-4-1-2.
RGV looked like they had just added a fourth goal, but was ruled offside. And so now it's still 3-2 in the 7th minute of stoppage time of the allotted 7 minutes. But when I turned it on in the 94th minute, the keeper for RGV was down for about a minute. So you'll probably see an extra minute of stoppage time there. So we're probably going to be going to the 98th minute or so here.
Whew. That's going to be an interesting one to see the end of there. But if you are just joining us, thank you for being here. My name is Seth Benoff. That is Jacob Terrell. We are part of Somos Moss and M, and this was our very first ever live watch along of a New Mexico United match tonight. They took on San Antonio FC down at Toyota Field in San Antonio and walked away with a 1-0 victory and 3 crucial points towards the potential playoff standings. And we have been following along with other Mountain Division matches as they have been taking place tonight. Earl, if you're listening, we'll send him a text.
He just texted us and said, "Are we doing a post match?"
Yeah, if Earl will hop on, we'll do an instant reaction. We haven't done one of those in a while. And if you are here in the chat with us, whether you're on Facebook, YouTube, or YouTube, we are live on Twitter as well, but Twitter can't get live comments. But if you are here, Facebook or YouTube, throw your comments in the chat. We would love to hear from you. We'll talk. We'll talk it. Whatever you've got, we would love to talk United with whoever's with us. And this is something that we want to do this more of. And I think this was a lot of fun. I think it was a lot of fun doing this tonight, and I cannot wait to. It's an early match too, an early match, man. I still got my night ahead of me. I can go to sleep, and right. No. I'll write my recap for the radio station, and then might play some video games or something. But the early, and we're gonna have early matches from here on out for the most part too. So. I think Wednesday night RGV is like the last 7 o'clock match we have. So, because next Saturday is 5 p.m.
Ooh, some fireworks going into this RGV match. There was an Atlanta United 2 player. Just kind of had his arm out holding the RGV player back, and the RGV player just decided to karate chop his arm about 3 times.
Oh, wonderful.
Somebody got a yellow on RGV earlier. I don't think anything happened after that. And ATL UTD 2, that's a mouthful, has a free kick coming just outside the top of the box, probably about 30 yards out, 25 yards out.
That's why I usually just say Atlanta 2. 10th minute of stoppage. Wow.
I like ATL UTD too. It's just fun to say.
Yeah, that absolutely is. So yeah, if you are in the chat, Facebook or YouTube, pop in the chat. What's your reaction to tonight's match against San Antonio? Oh my word, what a take. Oh, he didn't miss that by much. But pop in the chat. Let us know your reactions to tonight's New Mexico United match. What do you think happens next week? What did you think of the roster? What did you think of the lineup changes tonight? We're gonna do an instant reaction. We did a couple of those earlier in the season outside of Isotopes Park, but we have the opportunity now to do this live and guys, interact. We'd love to interact with you guys.
Yeah. Why haven't we done more of those since? At Isotopes Park, we've been to other games together. We just
I think some of it. And there's the final whistle down at HEB Park. RGV picks up the 3-2 win over Atlanta United too. So, I think Earl's going to pop on here. We'll do a little post match instant reaction. But no, I thought that was something we were going to be able to do, and we talked about doing it between the end of the match and the start of the presser. Yeah. But there's never really kind of a heads up as to how quick they're going to come up. And
it's almost always an hour though.
and I think it just gets to the point where it's so late. And then I know David was telling us the other night that he and Ken Sickinger are basically there until midnight most nights at the stadium.
Yeah.
I'm like, good Lord. I love the club. I would love to be there. I'd love to be a part of it and do that. But staying there that late, I don't know, man. Hey, so there he is.
An updated look at the standings real quick. Nothing moved necessarily as far as places, but we are now within 2 points of Austin Bold, as is RGV. But RGV and Austin both have a game we have a game in 3, 2, 1. a match in hand on both of them. So theoretically, we could be in a playoff position with an extra win here. We could leapfrog Austin. So don't look now, but we've won 3 of 4, and Guzman wasn't in the 18. So we could be dangerous here.
That is true. We've got a lot of positives to take away from this, and like you said, we've won 3 of 4. We do have a match in hand on both of them, and 3 of our remaining matches are against RGV. So that's going to be massive when those 3 matches coming up. And we actually have, I believe, we have RGV the last day of the season as well, if I remember my schedule correctly. So
Real Monarchs is last.
Real Monarchs, okay.
RGV is second to last.
So, all right, Earl is here. Folks, if you are, again, we'll go and say it one more time before we get into our instant reaction. If you are joining us here in the chat on Facebook or YouTube, you can, please, we encourage you, pop in the comments. We want your reaction to tonight's match. What do you think? What did you think of the changes to the team sheet? How do you think the team performed? Did they live up to your expectations or exceed them, or did they somehow fall below your expectations of what to expect on the road at San Antonio? Pop in the chat. We can throw your comments up on the screen. We'll talk it. We'll talk to New Mexico United, and we're glad that you're here, and we appreciate you supporting us here in our first ever live watch along of one of the road matches. And
that's not actually true, by the way. We did one last year, I believe. Was it the playoff game?
It was our El Paso playoff game.
It was the El Paso playoff game. Earl, you sounded terrible right there, but I'm glad you're here.
I know, I had a frog in my throat. My bad.
Earl, can I see your shirt? Because from what I can see on the top of it, I really like it. That's a pretty sick shirt. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, that's not bad.
I'm not going to lie.
That's not bad for Mountain Air shirt, yeah.
Hey, easy there. Easy there, killer.
Earl, what did you think of the match?
I liked it. I was very impressed with a non-Guzman in the 18 lineup.
I was very surprised he wasn't in the 18. I wasn't surprised he didn't start, but I was surprised we didn't see him as like a 70th minute sub and have to hold our breath for the rest of the match.
I'm wondering if he picked up a knock in training and that's why he wasn't, but that's neither here nor there. What the point is he wasn't in the 18. And it was a very stressless match compared to when Guzman is in there. I mean, it was very stressful up until that last that goal that went in, but up until that, I wasn't too stressed without Guzman there.
Yeah, it was a bit of a different lineup that we saw tonight. It's not the team sheet that was put out on social media did show the 3-4-3 like we're used to seeing, but the actual bodies in that lineup were kind of different. You saw Azira get the start, you saw Rivas get the start, you saw on that infographic that Tenari was up top, and obviously Tenari didn't play up top. And I thought this was a great opportunity for Armando Moreno to play that number 9. As a lone striker and get up there and see what he could do. And my concern was, how are we going to deal with the bigger bodies of San Antonio? How do you guys think we did in that area?
Well, I mean, they didn't score. So, and I wouldn't say we controlled everything, but we did control. I think we controlled the majority of the match, and for whatever reason, they don't use their height to their advantage. We were talking during the live stream there at the end that they have this 6'7" guy that the announcers call out before one of the free kicks, and you're like, yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, it's gonna be, he could be a huge target, especially because we don't have a lot of height. And then they send the ball in on the ground. It didn't make sense to me. So they kind of handled their height for us, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and that's something that we saw in the first match in Albuquerque, is they didn't really make very good use of their height, and we kind of played around it by playing more outside of the box, and which really negated that from our attacking standpoint. And them using it, or their failure to use it, really kind of hurt them a little bit. And so, yeah, that was a concern that I had about this. But we saw early on that the ability of Weehan and Moreno to still get into the box and make different runs was giving them fits at times.
Yeah, I think our speed is what got them, especially that last goal when we were just back and forth with the ball. I don't know if they expected us just to come with full speed at them at that time, especially, 70 minutes into the game now? So, yeah, I don't think they expected us to still have that energy going into that last 30 minutes or so. And I think that's what caught them off guard. I do also think that had it been Guzman in there, it's still a 0-0 match.
I mean, it's entirely possible that that's still the case, but yeah, it was very different, and I think that this is a lineup that we could see going forward, and I think I would like to see this going forward more on the road because it gave us attacking options and it gave us people that could drop back and play more defensive as needed. And, Jacob and I were talking about it a little while ago, is that, Mike Azira had a pretty good night tonight. He dropped back in defense, made some great plays. We saw there was a great tackle early on from Bees. Just, really got in there and took the ball off one of the San Antonio players. And I think it showed that we could get in there and really disrupt even, what these players are wanting, what these teams are wanting to do on their home pitch, as long as we play controlled. I mean, we talked about Tanari. We've talked about him before, how it feels like every time he steps on the pitch, he gets yelling. I mean, he got a yell tonight, but for the most part tonight, he was controlled, he was deliberate, and he made smart tackles.
On the defensive side, I will agree there. On the offensive side, he flopped way too much. And then we talked about it in the live stream. He flopped way too much early and then wasn't getting the call even when he was getting knocked over later in the match. So, all in all, I think it was a good match for him. But I see this lineup very, very similar to the one that we saw against Colorado Springs. The team sheet looks a little different because that one had Weehan, Sandoval, and Rivas up top. But essentially, Rivas dropped and switched with Martinez in that match and played the same position he played tonight. But it was like after 10 minutes, they made that switch. So this is what I was alluding to when we talked to Harry and what I've been expecting since that Colorado Springs match because of how well it worked. And it come to find out it was because of injuries that we didn't see Rivas in there. But this is exactly what we did against Colorado Springs. Rivas dropped back. Azira was kind of part of that back line. The names around those two were a little bit different. It was Martinez instead of Tanari. It was Najim and Suggs instead of Najim and Brucey. And then it was Sandoval instead of Moreno up top. But the basic style of play was exactly the same. And that is exactly why we got the win tonight, is we have finally found something that works. And it seems like, I'm not going to get too ahead of myself here, but it seems like Coach has realized that as well. And as long as we have healthy guys in there, mainly Rivas, then that's what we're going to see going forward. And because of that, I like our chances with a bunch of RGV matches coming up. And then we've got San Antonio again. No. Yes, we do. At home. That San Diego one and the Louisville one are kind of nerve-wracking or kind of daunting. Going all the way to Louisville will be kind of a big deal, but for the most part, this is the most optimistic I've been since, I don't know, probably the Charleston match.
The end of preseason?
No, I thought we figured some stuff out after the Charleston match and thought we were doing pretty good, and then all of a sudden we went winless for 6 matches in a row or whatever it was.
Yeah. Earl, what did you think of Troy pulling Dev and starting Moreno up top? This is something that we haven't seen too much of, Moreno being the lone number 9 up there.
I was actually okay with it. It gave us an option in the second half for a scoring opportunity. or a scoring threat, really not an opportunity, but a threat. Especially not pulling someone that's like a goal scorer such as Mondo or Rivas or someone in place of that, but instead adding to it. So I was perfectly okay with Dev not getting the start. I don't know how much his ego allows that to happen, but it was a great team move for Dev to accept that not starting role or that non-starting role. But yeah, like I said, I 100% understood it and agreed with why Dev came on in the second half, and I was once again okay with it.
I don't mean to take us off topic, but I found a fantastic new drink.
Okay.
You guys ever had Screwball?
Yeah, and I hate it.
You hate it? Oh my god!
The peanut butter
fucking hate
whiskey.
it.
Yeah, the peanut butter whiskey.
Yeah,
I hate
thanks,
it.
man.
I hate it.
Thanks.
Holy
You
smokes!
can have it.
This stuff is good.
Did you get it at that Kelly's place or Total Wine?
Yeah, the Kelly's on Wyoming. I looked at
Screwball's the worst.
I don't know what you're talking about. This is fantastic. I like this. But anyway, so I will say the one thing that concerned me tonight, and it's something that kind of developed throughout the night, is San Antonio's ability on free kicks. They put quite a few into the box, and ones that they really should have had chances at. We saw Alex make some saves. I know at least one of them, and that was something that I really thought that they were going to be able to take advantage on, but they didn't. They couldn't find the right angles, the right header. But am I wrong in thinking that is going to be an issue for us going forward, or do you think that that's something that we kind of game plan for and set up the guys in a way to try to help negate that?
I've thought our set piece defense has been really good all year. Honestly, we don't have size, but we've figured out ways to get around that. Whether it's the other team screwing up and not actually putting the ball up high enough for their giants to get to, or just getting underneath the guys so they can't get up in the air, a tactic that I had to use in basketball. So I wasn't near as worried about it. I mean, they had a lot of free kicks, but there wasn't one. Which one did Tambakis make a save on?
It was one of the headers. It was like ended up being like right at him.
That wasn't on a free kick though. It was a recycled play off of a free kick, but it wasn't actually off the direct free kick. The ball bounced around and came back in, and I think it was one of the Maloney headers. Is it the first one in the first half? I think is the one that you're talking about.
Could be, yeah.
And so really off of direct free kicks, there hasn't been anything there wasn't anything tonight, anyways, that I was like, oh man, that's a big problem. And I could say that was more San Antonio helping us out, but for the most part, other than the two free headers that Maloney had, one of which went right to Tambakis, and then one of them, he was wide open on the far post and had a wide open net on that far post and couldn't quite steer it on goal. But I don't think that was like a complete miss on his part. It was kind of hard to deal with. It was coming in real low. He had to dive to try to get to it. So I thought our defense was pretty good. We both created chances. Epps hit the woodwork there at the end of the second half, and then it ricocheted right off of Tambakis. And if it had any more power, it ricochets off Tambakis and goes in the net. But Tambakis is able to scramble to it, cover it up, and we come away with the clean sheet and 3 points. So I wasn't super concerned about anything that I saw tonight.
Yeah, I think that shot by Epps is one that we kind of got a little bit fortunate on. I felt like the defending on that play was actually really good, and I wasn't even sure that he was going to get that shot off, but he did. And then, the ricochet came back to Alex, and we've seen it happen in matches. We've seen it where it comes off and hits the keeper and goes back into the net. And fortunately, Alex had the had the awareness to turn around and get on that ball before anything else could happen to it. And I mean, outside of that, they didn't really have too many open scoring chances. And I think, again, that's a testament to the way our defenders played. And we saw at times tonight that backline just completely shifted over. Like there were times where Kalen was out on the far right side of the pitch defending. And, while that's not his forte, like you could see him shift over and then Rosh would drop back and play that more of a center back role. And so I think they made some really good defensive moves, some really good defensive adjustments and played up to where we know that they can play. And really stopped San Antonio tonight and pick up a massive 3 points. And I've got a lot of faith going into Wednesday night against RGV. I think we've got a good chance to pick up another 3 points there. But looking at tonight, man of the match shouts. Earl, who you got?
I mean, it has to be the one that scored the goal, winning the goal. I mean, Bees.
All right, understandable. I mean, yeah, Bees had a good night.
So if not Bees, because that's like the easy way out, I would probably go with Suggs or Mondo. Suggs coming out in the second half and just lighting the whole game on fire gives him a good shot for that. Or Mondo, who just all over the pitch, constantly wreaking havoc. He also gets the nod for that one too.
Yeah, looking at Bees on the night, Bees 39 total passes, 4 duels won, 2 aerial duels won, 1 goal, 1 shot on target, 1 shot off target, 1 block shot, 2 chances created. He was flagged offside 1 time, 2 tackles and 1 block shot on the defensive end. So yeah, great night for Bees. I couldn't argue with that. I think it's a great pick. Jacob, who you got?
I'm working on it.
Okay.
Because
we're in no rush.
I think that Bees was the man of the match on the USL website, but that's kind of standard. If you score a goal, especially the only goal, you're going to get man of the match no matter what. And he did have a really good night. I think the clean sheet with the way that chances were had on both teams is huge. And I'm looking at Austin. 7 out of 10 duels he won. 3 out of the 4 aerial duels he won. He had 3 clearances or 3 tackles, 3 clearances, 1 block shot, 2 interceptions. Was just kind of everywhere. And the back line of him, Sheed, and Ryden, when all 3 of those guys are healthy, I think Austin and Sheed are 2 of the better one-on-one defenders that I've seen. And then, of course, Ryden is just the captain of that back line and controls it down there. So there wasn't anybody that really stood out. So because of that, I as many times as I can shout out Austin as I can this year because of how well he's played, I'm going to do that. So I'm going to say Austin for now. Maybe Tuesday that changes, but at the moment it's Austin. I don't know. Do you guys want to move to Thursday since we're recapping this one right now? Do you want to move to Thursday to recap the RGV one, or would you rather just stick to Tuesday?
We can do Tuesday. Just do a preview and then do a quick thing on Thursday.
Okay.
To recap RGV, and then we'll preview. There's nothing next Saturday, right?
Yeah, there is.
Okay.
No, not next Saturday. Next Sunday is Louisville.
Next Sunday's Louisville. That's right. So that's what we'll do. We'll do Tuesday night. We'll preview RGV. Thursday night we'll recap RGV, preview Lou City, and then we got so many matches coming up. Sunday night we can do this again if you guys are open to that.
Possibly.
We'll do that Sunday night. Recap Lou City, and then that following Tuesday we'll do the Hartford preview. And we'll go from there. Yeah, lot of matches left to play. We got 8 more matches here in about 3.5 weeks, 4 weeks to play.
So it's as it turns out right now, it's Saturday, Wednesday, Saturday, Wednesday, Saturday, then a break till the next Sunday, and then Wednesday, Saturday, Saturday. So yeah, 3 midweek matches in a month, basically. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. Are either of you going to be at the match Wednesday?
Nope.
Yeah, I'll be at RGV.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll be at that one. Are you guys gonna make the Hartford match?
Nope.
I think I will. I think I will try to.
Okay.
Not 100% sure, but I'm not on call that day, so I could if I want to. It's just a matter of getting back here at 1:00 and then going to work.
Okay. Is that Hartford match still a 7:00 match? I thought that was. It might be.
I haven't looked at the time. Either way, it's a late night for me.
Okay. Because if at least one of you is not going to be there, I want to see if maybe put my kid's name in for a pass. So, because I was talking to David about trying to get my boys into something, but we'll see. So yeah, my man of the match.
Well,
you know,
even if I go, Earl's not going to be there, so
okay.
I'll get two things, and if he wants to use one of them, he can.
Okay, sounds good. So yeah, my man of the match. I mean, it's really hard to pick. Like, yes, B has got the goal. Amando, I'm looking at Amando's heat map. Amando was all over the freaking place. I think he had a great night. Didn't really do anything, to speak bad about. Had the assist on the goal, and I mean, Amando he played really well. So can't argue with that. You can't argue with Bees. Can't argue with Austin. Like I was talking up Austin in the middle of the match. Saying like if we had a few more positive results, I mean, he could easily be in the running for Defensive Player of the Year. And that his growth from 2019 to now has just been incredible. And I think he could get a shot at the next level. So. You can't go wrong with any of those guys, and so I think it's great. I think it's great to see a full team performance. Everyone played well. No one really sticks out as having like a bad performance on the night, and
well, yeah, because Guzman wasn't in there.
That is true. So
Earl, that was for you, and I didn't even get a freaking smile. Damn it!
Earl's up past his bedtime. That's what that is.
No, my wife was texting me just now.
Ah, okay. Hello, Alex.
She's not even home.
Ah, okay.
I have so many questions, but I'll wait.
So I think that's going to do it. I've been live for 3 hours now. Did a little bit of a pre-show, did the full match, and you got our instant reaction here, our recap to the match tonight. We will be back 9:00 Tuesday night. We will talk. What are we talking Tuesday night? RGV. We're talking Tuesday night RGV, and then Thursday night next week we'll have another show that we're recording. So a lot going on. Appreciate anyone who stopped by this evening, popped in the chat, said hello. Be sure to follow, subscribe, like, hit the notification alert, whatever it is on whatever platform you were on, and we will see you guys Tuesday night for our regular show.
Are we going to do all three on Tuesday night again? As in Twitter, Facebook, and...
Yeah, we'll do that.
Nice. Where's your wife, Earl?